Namaste all. Yes, ma'am, my last session for the day is score well. That's the topic that I chose. How can we help children to score well? I think now this will help most of us because we are preparing them for the board exam and we are with them in school. So these are all what I had practiced as a student, and I I had been implementing this for years, right from the day one that I'm a teacher. And I can say that whatever I have been done, I was successful. As a student, I was very, very successful when I did this in order to score marks. So scoring marks ultimately, like whatever we say, however we say, ultimately what speaks about the student is the mark. How the child did well in term one, how the child was doing throughout the year, everything speaks about the child when the results come in hand. So I thought we can make use of this opportunity to just share my views about how normally the children feel when it comes to board exams. And yes, this question, how to actually remember everything we study. That's a question. Always ask question, how do we remember things, ma'am? So the answer to this is there in the slides that I have. And this is a quote. This is actually something which I came across when we were having a meeting. So every child is having a dream. Every child does have a dream. So, and it is through us that it is made possible. So every child has a dream, and we, the teachers, make it possible because we believe everything is possible. That is how we start our sessions. We never ever tell them that nothing is impossible. For us, everything is possible. And every child is unique. No matter what she scores, how she is to us, every child is unique. And every child is so dear to us. And the last but not the least, what I have written here is they are someone's dream. So the child is the parent's dream. So our responsibility is such that the dream of the parent is finally made true by the efforts, the hard work, the tips, whatever we have been doing, whatever we have been preparing, when we do that, that comes. Yes, Suguna ma'am, namaste. So this is what I have for the day. And it goes with one method. So the first one, like the question is this, how to actually everything you study. So from the child's point of view, when the child is asking us, ma'am, we have this many chapters and we have these things, especially when it comes to IAD and especially when it comes to statistics, they'll ask so many formulas are there. How will I remember them? How can I remember them? So for that question, a few tips. First, when they come to us, 11th itself, we will tell them, see, whatever we are trying to teach you, whatever we start with, pay attention. Listen to us. We are not going to teach for 45 minutes. We hardly put across the content for 15 minutes and then we discuss with you. So the first concept that we always have to instill in the mind of the student is pay attention the first time. When you hear a concept, you hear a new concept, when you hear anything new, make sure that you are listening to us. So when you pay attention, the problem that the child will have in the course of her study, his study will slowly come reduced. It will be lesser and lesser and lesser. Listening to lecturers, watching a video, reading a textbook or something else, anything what the child does, we have to have attention. And we know that the attention span of children are just 15-20 minutes. So paying attention, the first thing. Then next important thing, what sometimes the children lacks, when we tell them, like take notes, that will really work. I always tell the girls to write down the lecture notes, because when we are lecturing, when we are talking many things, we are not going by the text. We know what the text has, and we give them so many examples. Our examples will correlate it to their day-to-day life. So if they are able to remember that, the example, and if they have the habit of jotting down the lecture notes, which is very important, especially for 11th and 12th standard kids. If they write it down and give an example, then that works wonders. So that is the second important thing that we have to instill, keep on telling them, make them understand the importance of writing the lecture notes, so that they need not get back to this voluminous textbooks and the lessons that they have, so that it's easy for them to remember and recollect. Then in that, about the diagrams, it's our notebook, no. So when the child is drawing in her notebook or his notebook, let the child be drawing it with, like, first with the pencil and then with a nice sketch pen, so that the child will feel happy when the book is neat. The next thing is, you like to look into a book where the book is very neat, where the book is colorful. All of us, even now, we don't like to see a dry book. So let it be made colorful. So when the diagrams are there, as far as the diagrams are concerned, let the child make it more colorful, so that it will help the child to get back to her classwork when she is preparing. Then make connections with the example.
Namaste, Archana ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am. Ma'am, I just started it. It was we were just waiting till 2 5. Then we started it. Topic for the day is this. Score more.
Score more. Yes, ma'am. How we are going to score more marks? Yes, ma'am.
So how we can tell the child to score?
Yes.
So I started with the first point, ma'am. The point is pay attention the first time. So we are telling the children, you have to pay attention. Because
pay attention.
Everything is new to them. So they have to listen to us. We are only going to teach them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We are not going to take the 45 minutes.
They should listen.
15 minutes only we are taking, right? They should listen, because they will deviate from the topic. They will ask us questions, and then automatically we will go. So just the 15 minutes that they have, let them listen to us. So paying attention is the first thing. And when we are reading the textbook, or when there is a recording going on, anything for that matter, what happens in the class for 10-15 minutes, the child has to listen. Then let us go for an interactive session. Second thing is, take notes, lecture notes, ma'am. Very important thing. Let them write the notes. Let them write whatever we talk. We use the talk and chalk method. So we will be writing it on the blackboard. We'll be explaining. So that let them write it down. And when they are writing it down, we will give our own examples. No. So many examples we'll give. That example is more than enough for the child to remember. Rather than looking into the textbook, the child will be able to remember. No. This is what ma'am was talking in the class. She spoke about the pencils. She spoke about chocolates. So immediately that example will help the child remember. All these things can only happen if the notes are written down. So we have to insist upon them writing the notes. So that is a mandatory concept. Tell them, let them write the lecture notes. Second thing is, in our notebook, when they are drawing the diagrams, let them draw it in pencil and let them make it colorful. Sketch pen le nalla alaga varanja, and the notebook the child will have a thought, oh, my book, so many things are there in my book. So that is what we make the child go take that book. The child feels happy because the book is very colorful. And for us also, we love to see a book which is colorful, right? Rather than more of theory part into it. So just tell them, if you do like this, maybe you're spending some time, it's fine. In the class only you're doing it. No, when I'm there. So spend some time drawing neatly, colorfully, so that you will have you will feel, okay, let me go take my notebook. My notebook is so nice. Let others also see my notebook. There are so many things to add on to that. So child will also have that feeling. My notebook is really good to see. Let the other friends of mine also see the notebook, and automatically the child will read from the note. Then connections. How do we correlate things in our subject? Our subject is something which we can correlate it with so many things. Market lend ஆரம்பிச்சு, we are talking about demand, supply, then cost, revenue. Like that we go. So we can correlate our subject. So make the child give some more added examples one time when we are teaching one new concept. Give them time to discuss in the class, and you listen to them. And n number of examples will come. So all these things, they are writing it down and keeping. So that will in turn help the child to remember all the things in a sequence. So take notes, that really works. Then the next one is use spaced repetition. That's a learning strategy. That is exposed to the same information in a space-time interval. In the varam, we are teaching them. Next Monday, when we meet them. This Monday, we finished a concept. Next Monday, when we are meeting them, we will give them a small test. It need not be a lengthy test. It can be a quiz. They'll be interested. And it's a one word, one sentence definition. So we are spacing it. And then after a month, again, we'll bring it back. It can be a surprise test, or it can be a test where we are giving it. Or we'll give them 10 more minutes, or an open book test is also fine. So when we are giving the child time to again read it, the child will remember it. Formulas, very, very important thing is to be written down in a paper. And if the child can stick it on the wall, let the child stick it. No, you can't stick anything in the wall. Mother has told the child now. Don't disturb that. Let the child stick it in the classwork, all the formulas. When we are asking them mean, median, and mode formulas, when we are asking them correlation, regression, standard deviation formulas, immediately the child, we can tell them, oh, ma'am, I forgot. Don't worry, go. Open your text classwork. Go turn back and see. Immediately he'll turn back and see. And he'll say, okay, start doing. Rather than using our textbook, because textbook again will make the child have that fear. You use this much of things I have to study. No need. Don't touch the textbook at all. Formula, you know. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you know. Do. And at times, like make the child quickly do these sums, no? Give them some big figures and ask them to multiply. And who multiplies first? Give them a chocolate. So ma'am will give me some gifts, or a star in the book, or where you have this thing where you'll put a star for the child next to the child's name. So that kind of a motivation when you give, they'll be ready. And we are indirectly telling them, teaching them how to do multiplication. Then ask them to draw with sketch in their notebook. So sketch pens, they are neatly drawing it, so that will help them to feel good when they take their books. The next one is ask and answer questions. It's an active recalling. So it is also something that you can practice while taking notes. They are writing. You call another child. Ask the child to repeat what you have already said. So the rest of the children are writing. One child is answering. Then immediately you call another person. Give an example of what we discussed. So that is how we go. So what we are doing is we are recalling whatever we had been teaching them, knowing that very well that the child will not go home and study. That should be there in our mind. Children are children, and they every day don't touch their books. Only when you say there is a test, there is a quiz, there is something where you get the scores, then the child is ready to read. Otherwise, the child is not in a position to read it. Then teach someone else. Now, one will love to help another person. So have a small group, not a big group. And in the small group, you assign one child this one particular topic. Say, for example, X is demand. So let that particular child teach 2 friends of hers. Then what happens is she may have understood it in a different aspect. When she is teaching it to her friends, she may get a better idea of how to make it much easier. Each one teach one. That formula will really work out. When you teach somebody, when you help somebody, when you discuss your viewpoints with somebody, you will get more ideas as to how to make it more and more better. So give them the advantage of sitting with a friend, helping a friend out, and in turn helping oneself out. She helps herself and she's helping her friends. Then the next one is review, routine review. So how do you do a routine review? Now we do slides like this, no? Almost everyone will have PPTs at home. Even in the phone, you have everything now. So ask the child to prepare PPTs and keep for each chapter, so that the subheadings of the chapters will be there. And that subheadings will help the child remember things much, much faster. A weekend, you make a group and ask the group to send you PPTs or prepare PPTs and come. Or make it as an activity where the child is writing it down and we have a seminar in class. For all these things, when we plan it out, indirectly we are answering to the child's question, how am I going to remember all these things by the end of the year? April month, March month, we started our course. And then we are ending it up in the month of Feb, next academic year, 2023. So these many months, the child has to remember things. So the child's genuine question is, how will I remember, ma'am? And we are giving them an answer. You will remember, my dear. This is how you remember. And when you are keeping on repeatedly doing that routine work, you will not forget. So either a seminar, there's no time. Okay, we have to finish the portions. We are a 12th standard teacher. Make a PPT. As the child finishes it, ask the child to make a PPT. And we save it in the folder and keep. And when it is time for their revision, tell them to open that folder and go through the PPTs first. Then open the textbook. Then the child will remember each and everything that the child has studied. Then the next one is take breaks. That is, we have to tell the children when they are sitting to study, at the stretch, if they study, sometimes the brain will feel the heaviness of it. They'll experience a burnout. So tell them, take breaks, break it up. So when you are breaking it up, you're not studying for days together. You study a lighter portion, then study a difficult portion, or you study a subject which you love the most, then you study a subject which you find it a little difficult. So like in the early mornings, what you are finding it difficult. If the child has a habit of getting up in the early morning and studying, let the child do it. No, the child is a late night person. Okay, late nights, if you really will sit, then let the child be doing sums. It can be economics, it can be accountancy, it can be mathematics. So the theory part will get over by 9, 9:30, 10. And from 10 o'clock, if the child really wants to study, and if she is going to sit till 12 o'clock, the child will do sums. Apam oru mani nera oru sum, we know no start. They'll sit with one sum and apdiye the time will go. They won't even know that. National income accounting sums, they'll keep on doing. They, when they look at the watch only, oh, 12 mani acha, it's time for me to go to bed. That is how it is. Theory, if it goes like the late night, they may feel sleepy. So let them take the break. Whenever the body is tired, mind is tired, the brain is tired, tell them to go with a lighter subject that they love. What they love when they learn, then yes, you will have that energy. You'll regenerate yourself and then you will come back. Yes, I'm done with. Or just a break. Tell them to listen to some music or do something which they like. Okay, if they're boys, Jayanti ma'am has all boys. இப்போ விளையாடிட்டு வாடா 5:30 மணிக்கு நீ போய் விளையாடிட்டு நல்லா வா அப்போ ரொம்ப டயர்ட் ஆயிருக்கும் பரவாயில்ல நல்லா குளிச்சுட்டு you just sit. Boys no, anytime they'll go out. You can't send the girls like that outside. But for the girls, we can say those who have the habit of cycling. 5:36 for your cycle just one round, because your body has to be really energetic for you to study. When we are lethargic, also we'll have so many problems. I used to do this during the pandemic. I used to go for cycling. That is, when I used to go for cycling, no, 8:30 at night. Because by then only all my work will get over. I'll finish off all the work and go for cycling. And when I come back, I'm so happy. Because the nice breeze, nobody in the road. So it used to give me a sort of an energy that, oh, yes. So when there is a fear that there is a pandemic, I used to go for cycling for half an hour and then I used to come back. And when I come back, okay, for the next day I have to prepare and everything is this PPT and slides. Then I'll sit. After taking a nice bath, I'll sit till 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then I think I'll be sending Jayanti ma'am also some notes, some things, what I come across. So I used to do like that. And I never used to feel tired. So it's a break that you take. Take a break. And I used to play with my daughter badminton. So that in the evenings, because I can't take her in the night for a cycle ride, I'll go on my own. And then evenings we used to play badminton. So making her also go into the mode of doing exercise. And then she'll come back, she'll sit and study. Then when every work of mine is done with, I'll go for cycle. So tell the girls also, they can cycle, they can skip, they can do even gardening. If they have a pet, some children have dogs. Play with the dog, take the dog out. So, andamadri. So, whatever small things. Some children really like cooking also. So, do that cooking. So, the child is out of that stress. Because ultimately, it's a stress. Marks wangano, marks verano. I have to get the college admission. So, this is there in a child. Knowing all these problems, we are trying to help children. And when we are trying to help children, it has to be done in the initial stages. Within the 3-4 days, they can't study. Because they'll be scared now. I have only these many days in hand. 13th, my English starts. Today is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6 more days. In that 6 more days for my subject, there's marketing first. And marketing 12th, the next day it is English. So what I told the children is first finish off English. And then take marketing, because marketing is a lighter subject and they have already gone through it thoroughly well. So I told them finish off English and then take marketing, and then marketing is only 1.5 hours paper. They can come back early and then you relax and then you study. So meanwhile, you have to read the lesson. In classes, ma'am, when you are not feeling like learning economics, read IED textbook, Sandeep Gar. Fulla venda, don't read the whole chapter because it will take a long time. Part by part, like 3 pages of the chapter you read. Simply you read. So you'll understand, okay, these many things are there because we have open-ended questions for IED. So a child has to know how to write it. So when the child should know how to write that, the child should know the text. And when the child is not interested in studying, let the child read it. About one time reading is getting over. That way. So let them work out their own ways to take a break, whatever way they want out, so that the brain is also relaxed, that stress and strain is gone down. And then, yes, they are coming back. Then again, they'll have, okay, I need to start my studies. I need to work it out. So these are the tips that we have to give them whenever we have students who are writing the board exam. So when we tell them, they will understand. And during these times, just now when I came to school, went to school, I told them, you remember me telling you about the timetable that you're supposed to prepare? So whenever we know that this is the date for our exams, we should have a timetable right in front of us. And the timetable plays a vital role. okay, இவ்ளோ நாளைக்கு this many lessons, because my exam starts on this particular date and it gets over on this date. So what is the period that I have? How many days do I have to complete one chapter, to complete one first revision? So like that, the child has to mentally prepare herself and himself in order to take up the boards. That time there is no time for grumbling. And how to eat also you have to tell them. When you sit for preparing for the boards, you can't sleep till 10 o'clock in the morning. Please tell them. 10 மணி வரைக்கும் தூங்குனா half of the day is gone. You have to at least get up by 6:30. Then take a bath, come sit on in your place wherever you study. 7 o'clock they have to start, or 7:30 they have to start. 7:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30, 2 hours is there. After 2 hours, let them have a break. Let them have their breakfast, and not very heavy breakfast. We are talking to 12th standard kids. They will know better. Romba heavier breakfast, what happens is the child will feel sleepy. So breakfast, to make your stomach feel not empty, it is half full. That much you need to take is enough. Again, from 9:30, 15 minutes breakfast. That also they have to plan out in their timetable. How long am I going to have my breakfast? I need to have only for 15, 20 minutes. Enough. I need to get back to my table again by 10 o'clock. So you already started one chapter, 10 to 12 again. So how you study, that is left to the child. You have diagrams, you have formulas, you have theory. Okay, konja neram bore adichu theory padichu. Leave. Go for the diagram. Diagram varayum podu you will be interested. Then do some sums. That sleep will go off. Apram vandu again from 12 o'clock. If you really want to take a break, go for a break for 15 minutes and then come back. Because afternoon time, this time, now we are all feeling the heat of the sun now. So we know how difficult it is for a child to sit and study now during this hot summers. So they have to keep a water bottle next to them, and they have to keep sipping water so that they are not getting dehydrated. Very important thing. We have to tell them, because something which is not good for their health, they shouldn't eat now. So they have to be taught as to what to take and how to proceed with that. And then that timetable will help the child by the end of the day feel more comfortable. Okay, I finished. I had a target. I had 3 chapters to complete. I could complete that. So after completing those 3 chapters, let the child take a question paper and let the child do those questions related, the questions which is there. And then the child will get scoring key also, you give the child. So after going through the question paper, the child is now doing it on her own. She will take it, she will correct it, and then she will analyze. Where do I stand? Or if not the question paper, send her chapter-wise questions. If that is sent, again the child will again do that, and then the child will keep a count, a check on what she has been doing these many hours. So then the child will have a very clear idea. Okay. And once the child has finished one lesson, tell her in her notebook to write the name of the chapter, put 1 tick. After every lesson is over, tick. So double checking with her notebook whether I have gone through all the chapters. Sometimes in a hurry, children may skip the chapters because they have everything in their brain. And now if they have written it down there, put 1 tick. So after 3 days, when one whole subject is over, they can go to the other subject. So timetable plays a very, very important role. Planning out your time effectively is what helps a child for the board exam to score marks, no matter what the child was. Tell her, see, my dear, you are capable of doing it. Leave the pre-board marks. Even if the child is scored low, it's okay, it's fine. Tell the child, you still have time. You are capable. You can do it. You will do it. So when we keep telling them, it's we who can build confidence in the child. Yes. And also tell them, if you have any doubts, don't hesitate. Come back to me. I'm there for you. No. That word is something which is very, very close to their heart. Don't worry. Text me, call me, ask me your doubts. So some children will feel difficult to talk to you in the group. What will ma'am think? She's been teaching these many months. And if I tell her I don't understand, I did not understand. So you tell the children, you can call me. So when that word goes from us, you can call me. You can ask me your doubts. You can text me your doubts. Then the child will have, yes, I'll call. If I have doubts, I'll call ma'am. Rather than calling my friends and wasting my time, I would better call ma'am. Because when the friends start talking, when the friends start chatting, so many things they would create. Maybe some will give a wrong concept, some will give a wrong answer, then they will go in for debate. Then that whole time goes off by texting, no, it is right, no, it is wrong. No, let us not give way for any of these things to happen. Let them have all their doubts clarified through us, with us. So that's the best way. So they and the parents also won't feel, oh, my daughter is talking to her friends and she's wasting her time. No. So if this is what you teach them right from the next academic year for 11th and 12th, when we give them the tips as to how to proceed and tell them, this is what we had been doing and we've been successful, then yes, it's somebody's success that has been portrayed. So they will understand, okay, let me try it once. And when I try it once, let me see how it works for me. So we have given them a number of tips as to how to proceed. Then the various ways of boosting your learning. So in that, sleep is an important factor, exercise is an important factor, spaced repetition is important because our brain is like that. Even you and me, if we don't go through the concept for nearly 3 months, we may tend to forget. Because we are people who have been going through this for years, we remember that. But a child is learning it for the first time, and a child will only use it for 1 year, and she has so many other subjects to study. For us, it is only economics. So which means we have only this thing to think about. But for the child, she has so many other subjects to learn. So that is why we say spaced repetition is very important. Recalling it. Just like that, you ask them. You need not be giving them a chance to go into the textbook. Do you remember what we studied the other day? What did we study last week from this particular chapter? So 1 or 2 children will be studious and they would have been going through it regularly. So that child will start. And then we will give. Okay, you remember me talking about this? Yes, ma'am, the example I remember. You spoke like this. You told this example. That they remember. So quickly correlate it with 15 minutes. Finish it off. So this is the boosting up a learning technique so that the child will not completely forget what the child has already studied and what the child is now studying. So when we do this repeatedly in class, yes, the child also will feel happy. Now, what we always have to keep in mind, having high expectations of all students, regardless of their previous academic performance. Let us like I've heard some teachers talk about, okay, how was this girl in 10th standard? So maybe the child wouldn't be so good in her academics in 10th. Let us not judge like that. Because if you have, excuse me, if you have that kind of a thought, then we look into the child like that. Oh, the child is not good in studies. So let us not go by any previous academic performances of the child when the child is coming to us. And keep that high expectation that all of them are really good, they will really do well. And it is we who would create an environment, a learning environment for them to reinforce. We keep debates, we keep quests, and we are not keeping on reinforcing that you are studying, you are studying, you are studying. They are unknowingly doing the fact that they are learning the subject. They do learn the subjects, but we teach them the subjects in the various way that the child will remember. then seeking out, discovering, and praising any effort of all students. Let us not lose an opportunity to say, wow, excellent, good, you did it, superb. When it comes from a teacher, it's like for them gold and precious diamonds. That is how they look into it. When you say, nice. And it should be coming from the bottom of our heart when you say that. Superb, wonderful, so which means you can do that. So we are just reinforcing onto the child that the child is capable of doing. Then assessing the learning styles of our students, keeping in mind that being different is not inferior. I mean, in my class, ma'am, this time, there's one child, I don't want to mention her name. She can draw really well, but she's a beautiful artist. Her problem is she stammers. And she's able to, she studies really well also. So when it comes to, when we ask her questions, and when she is anxious to answer, no, she'll be held up, and she used to start shivering initially. So I told her, it's fine, my dear, you take your time to answer me, it's okay. Because the curiosity for her to answer will make her feel shiverish, and a stammering will be on that extent. And then one day, I really did not know, because I have not handled this kid before. So I just like that, when we were having a conversation, she was telling me, ma'am, I started talking in your class. So when I started talking, ma'am, I'm feeling happy, and my parents are saying that there's a lot of difference in my conversation now. Before and all, in 10th standard, I never used to talk, ma'am. So knowingly or unknowingly, I was a cause of that. I said, okay, fine, my dear, you will talk. Whatever doubts you have, every day I make it a point to ask her the questions, and it will take me some time, because I need to give the time for the child, because for a 10 minutes out, she will take to answer me. But then she'll answer my questions, and she studies also really well. But it's fine. The child gains confidence. The child will gain confidence. So some efforts of ours will be fine. And some children are not good at talking. They'll write nicely. If you have any questions, they can quickly write. But when you ask them to answer that, they'll be just like that, staring at you. Okay, fine. Write it down, no? Then the child will quickly write down. So these are the various types of children that we come across every year. And some children will not at all be interested in studies also. They just come because the parents have pushed them into, they have some other desires, which they don't have schooling, so they are not. So we come across various kinds of children. And for all the various kinds of children, we are the only teacher. So we have 40 children now, each one is unique. And for each child, there would be a way to put it across. Maybe like 30% of them are fine. They will go into a normal way of teaching, learning, they learn, they'll understand, they'll go well. But there are a few kids who need our personal attention also. So how we are giving it to them is, we need to study. We need to really know the child that we are taking care of. Only the child. We need not know about her parental background, nothing we have to know. We should know the child better. And when we know the child better, yes, miracles would happen with some children. And helping students understand that taking notes and studying course material is a way to achieve academic success. Again, reinforce on that. Write down the lecture notes, my dear. Because when you write down the lecture notes, you will remember the examples that the teacher said in the class. Maybe only one thought the teacher would have said that particular day. But that thought is somewhere there. And with that, if the child is good at like writing it down, conveying the message, yes, that's more than enough for us. Ultimately, the child has written the concept. So each and everything that we do, it's like a boomerang. We get it back. And maybe we will realize when we are very close to them. So when we are in class, our responsibility as a 11th and 12th teacher is not just to teach the child, but also make the child feel happy, make the child understand that she is going to a new life in after 1 year. If she's in 12th, yes, next year she's going to college, and she should have certain values, certain concepts that she has to remember, he or she, and how to go about, because this is a very competitive world. And in this competitive world, it is always the survival of the fittest. So for us to survive, for them to survive in this upcoming years, in these coming years, they need to be really extraordinary in some or the other aspect. So make them understand that. That is why I said it can be a seminar also. Through a seminar, if a child is really good at making others understand the concepts, then yes, the child automatically would understand this is her strength. So we are the people who are making the children understand their strength and weaknesses. And if there is a weakness, I am not able to recollect things. I can only recollect things part by part. So for that particular child, how are we going to help the child write the board exam? If the paper is for 80, the paper is 80 marks. How do you expect the child to remember everything that we have taught in the month of March? In the month of Feb or March next year, 2023. So for that, these are the tips. How to make a child feel, okay, I can do it. I will do it because my teacher said I'm capable of. So it is a system. It is a systematic way in which we tell them. So we have to plan it out, make them plan out, because right from morning 8:30 till 3 o'clock, they are with us. One period or two period, whatever we get, we have to keep telling them, did you write the lecture notes yesterday? No, then remember and write it now. We help them to give them the gist of it. I told you this, I told you this, I told you this. Quickly write it down. Then tell them very clearly, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be in different notebooks. It should be in our economics classwork. Let it not be in any notebook that the child carries, because it has to be, there should be a sequence. Then only tell her very clearly, why we are telling you to write this is, when you have your final board exam, the previous day, you can't sit and read everything from the beginning. But if you go through our lecture notes, you will remember. The child will think, yes, what ma'am saying is right. How will I finish off everything if I'm having 14, 15 chapters? How can I read the entire thing? So if I have a lecture notes, I will be able to remember what ma'am has taught in the month of March 2022 also. So we give them this idea. See, if we have to remember what we studied in the month of March 2022, in the month of in 2023 March, this is how you have to remember. You can go through the lecture notes, and next day morning when they are coming to write the board exam, they don't have time to read the whole thing. So the previous night itself, when the child has finished everything, the confidence level of the child is gone up. And tell the child, don't compare yourself with your friends. She has a different IQ level. You have a different IQ level. So you just think about yourself. Don't worry about your friend, and always believe in your strength. If you have a weakness, try to work it out. Now, if you ask me, my weakness is I don't know how to make others work. I'll do my work on my own. So at home, all the work will be done by me. And the other people in the family will be happy because the work is done by me. I don't know how to delegate the work for others. That's my weakness. So this is what you have to understand. What is my strength? What are my weaknesses? So when we have weaknesses, we have to understand the weaknesses. As a student, I still remember my weakness was like during the examination time, a kind of a fear will come even after learning everything. That is there for every child. So that fear is like, will I be able to write all the answers? So one day when I was sitting, dad came and he was asking me, finished learning? I said, yes, I finished learning. My dad was my best friend. So he said, then what is your problem? I said, Daddy, I don't know. I have a little worry. He said, did you learn all the lessons? I said, yes, Daddy, I finished learning all the lessons. And I know also what lesson, what it is. And all the questions I finished sample question papers also. So Daddy said, okay, you finished learning. Then why are you worried? Whatever you know, tomorrow you will go right. That was the only statement that he said. What you know, you'll write tomorrow. What you don't know, maybe when you are reading your question paper, when you get all the questions, when you see the question paper, the fear that you have, initially you will not be knowing these answers. Okay, it's okay. But your brain recollects it. Your brain would remember things because you have studied. So as and when you continue writing, automatically the brain will recall it. It will give you your answer. Trust yourself is what he told. Trust yourself. Have faith in you. Okay. I felt so happy. And the next day, when I went, I had to go through all these things. I had the fear. When I saw the paper, some questions I knew the answers, but I couldn't get those answers. Okay. Daddy said, trust yourself. Okay. Well, I can start writing the answers that I know. And automatically, as he said, my brain will recollect things. And it came as a flow. I was able to write very, very well. From then onwards, I understood that I have to trust myself. I have to have faith in me. Even now, if I go write some exams, that will be there in me. But then I keep telling myself, believe in your strength, know yourself, you have done your part. Then leave the rest. It will be taken care. So as a student, we have all these problems. And now also if somebody is asking us to write exams, we are scared, right? All of us are scared, no? Even today, at this age, when somebody is asking you, write the exam, you have marks. Are we not a little tensed and worried? Yes or no? When you are asked to write exams, are we not tensed even now at this age? I need an answer. Are you not tensed? When somebody is asking.
Yes, tensed. Really will be tensed.
Definitely, ma'am, by the end of this session, by the end of all these 10 sessions, you have a small exam.
My network connection is not good. Shall I leave now itself?
That's going to be the answer.
Actually, that will be the answer from the students.
So even now we have that fear of examination. So it is not pertaining to one particular age. So it comes for all of us. So that's the worry, that's the concern. So marks, and they are going to speak about me. That's the next worry. Are marks going to speak about me at this age? Should I write an exam? Ma'am, 2019 we had come to Gopalapuram for this thing computer course, ma'am. We had 13 sessions, and by the end of the day, Goprasad sir said you have an exam, both the descriptive as well as you have computer based ones. That is, you have to log in, you have to do a PPT. 13 days of sessions. Okay, after school we used to go. And then you should have seen the way we were as students. When the teacher asked, when another friend of us asked, you learned? Yes, yes. And someone saying, no, we don't learn. We did not learn. I said, then you're coming and sitting for the exam. Don't be like students, okay? If you have learned, tell you have learned. Then somebody asked me, you learned? I said, yes, I learned very sincerely because I have to get marks. No. Without preparing for an exam, how can we come and say 50 marks exam MCQ? Fully objective type, what is related to system? Information practice only we had. We have gone for a class also. So first 1.5 hours we had objective. Next 1.5 hours we had this thing. We have to prepare a PPT, and sir you gave us a topic. We have to make a PPT on that, and then we got the results also. So this is how it is. Any fag end of the day, when somebody is telling us there is an exam, gone is all our confidence, all those things. So let us be in that spirit. We have to study. Okay, let us study. As we said, there's no age limit for education. There won't be any age limit for writing exams also. Anytime if we are asked to write exams, we have to write exams. So again, the child is also in the same situation. Now, to sum up, this is what we have, the role that we have. If a country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are 3 key societal members who can make a difference. They are the father, the mother, and the teacher. It's said by APJ Abdul Kalam. So we are one member which makes a person, which makes a child a good citizen, a corruption-free citizen. So our responsibility is this great. And we will do all possible ways and means of doing it. When we follow, our children also will follow. As you said,
Yes,
they'll
ma'am.
be there with us and they will listen to us, they'll observe us. Today also in class, when they said, ma'am, do you have anything to tell us? Because this is the last time. I said, be good, be humble, be simple, help others. That's what you can do. And when you are humble and when you are simple, you will have so many friends to who wants to be part of your life. The ones who has the ego, the ones who thinks no end of themselves, the ones who doesn't help others and all, they won't come up in their life. Maybe they feel that they are somebody great, but they won't come up in life. So when we are role models to our children, definitely they'll learn many, many lessons from us. That's true, ma'am. That's very, very true. We teach something, we follow something, then what will the children learn from us? We are not following that. Nah, they will say, ma'am, you don't follow. No. So we have to follow. What we preach, what we teach, we have to follow it in our life. Then yes, then only they'll understand, oh, why are we learning this? What is the reason why we learn all these things? What is the purpose of the consumer code? All these things they learn. And even children will ask when this chapter goes on, ma'am, is there anyone who has gone to the consumer court? I said, there are people. It's not just for the namesake that we have it in our books. There are people who go fight for their rights. Or just put a word across. As Rosina ma'am said, if you have the bill and if the product that you got is one which is expired, immediately when you give it back to them, if he doesn't take, you can say, sir, na consumer court ku poiduven. Immediately he'll say, Lila ma'am, please give it back. We'll return you with some other, you can take some other product from here. So these are things that we have to follow. And when we follow, yes, we are going as well as study. Nice. When are you joining, Mayura ma'am, to school?
Ma'am, June, ma'am. After
Okay.
completing the exams here, then only
Okay.
I'll be able to come and join there.
Okay, okay. So now where are you staying? You are here in Chennai?
Ma'am, today I'm in Coimbatore, ma'am. Little health issue for me. That's why I have come here, ma'am. Then I'll be going back again on Monday.
Okay, okay. So yes,
Archana ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
sorry, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Jyoti
I'm
ma'am,
having one doubt. I'm having one doubt. For this board exam, this descriptive pattern, they will ask private income, personal disposable income, like that. Some whether they will ask or not, ma'am, because they didn't use solution in a Sandeep Kaur, but we are referring our old year question paper. They are asking like this. So children, they ask, ma'am, like that concept they have given in our power booster. That question,
Okay.
that sum also they will whether they will ask or not, ma'am, for our examination. Private income, personal disposable income, that concept,
Personal
ma'am, national
disposable
income
income.
accounting.
okay. Soumya,
That's a deleted portion, ma'am. That's been deleted 3 years back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you,
It's
ma'am.
not to
I'm
be
having doubt.
tested. Private
Yes,
income,
ma'am.
personal income, personal
Personal
disposable income,
disposable
national
income.
disposable income. All those topics are deleted portions. So it was deleted 4 years back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm having doubts. Yes, ma'am. My children, they asked.
sample question paper, old you will be having.
Yes, ma'am. Old question paper while we are practicing that some, my children, they asked, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
2016, 17, Elanda will be there. So
Yes, ma'am.
it is not there.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you, ma'am.
Soumya ma'am is taking that, no ma'am. When during ma'am session, ma'am will be covering. So
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, the course of study, you remember what we sent?
What, ma'am?
Course of study.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are having course of study. Yes, ma'am.
You remember we sending you the course of study last
Yes,
year,
ma'am.
beginning of April. You abide to that course of study, ma'am. Adeda, that is the only thing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So go by that course of study.
Yes, ma'am.
No, whatever deleted portions were there, we deleted it off. And we have
Yes,
made a mention also there in the course of study.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
these are the areas that we have deleted. And you remember me sending you a deleted portion? The deleted portion also I have sent you.
Yes, ma'am. I will see, ma'am.
Go to that, ma'am. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
whenever you have doubt related to certain concepts, you just go by that our course of study and the deleted portions, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Today I'm in revision. My children, they told to ask to you. So
Ange
only I
வந்து
asked.
strike it off. Cut பண்ணிடுங்க,
Yes.
ma'am, and then say deleted.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But they have given in our power booster. So only I am asked, ma'am. Theory we have studied. Yes, ma'am. Some
fair
video
enough.
I didn't teach. Yes, ma'am.
No, we are not teaching them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
ma'am, in the power booster, you just strike it off. Tell omitted
ma'am.
portion.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is fine. And give it off. Tell the children also to strike it off. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
exam படிக்கும் போதும் let them not come across with these kinds of tensions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did not teach me.
Appa don't want to study the theory also. Yes, ma'am.
Strike.
Yes, ma'am.
And then write the omitted.
Yes, ma'am.
Quickly make them write it as an omitted portion.